The first separation based on the gravitation is by using a Wilfley table method. Now in this we are using gravitational method. So for this we need a Wilfley table which is made by fixing narrow and thin wooden rifles on an inclined surface. Then this surface is continuously vibrating. On top of it, we then put the crushed ore or the powdered ore. Along with the crushed and the powdered ore, we put also some amount of water, that is the steam of water comes along with the ore. Now as this is coming on the Wilfley table, it is vibrating. So as a result, the lighter gangue particles, the particles which are lighter, obviously because of gravitation they are carried away along with the flowing water, while the heavier particles which are there, which are actually there in the mineral, these remains inside and these are blocked in those rifles, and these get collected on the slits between them. And this is the method in which you can separate the ores, that is the lighter ore will go out, that is the lighter minerals, lighter gangue particles can be separated and the heavier particles can be separated. So this is the first method, that is Wilfley table method. Second method of separation is by hydraulic separation method. So in this we have a tank and we use water again in this for separation. So what we do is we first take the powdered ore or the crushed ore, and that is the finely grounded ore. It is released into the tank which is filled with water. Now this tank, it is having two jets of water. So here if you will see, from here is the first one and from here the water comes in, and from here the above water which is there, it goes out. So in this method, a forceful jet of water is introduced into the tank from the lower side. So first the water is introduced from the lower side, and the powdered ore is then thrown inside that tank. Now as that powdered ore is thrown inside, we know that the lighter one remains on the top, the heavier particle settles on the bottom. So the gangue particles which are lighter, therefore they flow out along the water jet from the outlet which is there on the upper side, and the heavier particles goes and settles down on the bottom which is on the lower side. So from there you can collect the concentrated ore, and on the top which is there here, the lighter one which is coming on the top, that one can be thrown out from here. The lighter will settle up, it will go out from here, and the heavier particle will come down, will settle down and can be collected from here. So this is called as the hydraulic separation method. Next method is the magnetic separation method. Here we use magnets to separate our metals. Now we know that metals can attract towards the magnet. So from this we can actually separate the impurities from the metal. So we need here two rollers. One is the non-magnetic roller and other is the magnetic roller. We have also kept two collectors. One is for the magnetic ingredients and one is for the non-magnetic ingredients. So starting में first we will put the powdered ore here towards the non-magnetic roller part. Then the powdered ore which is kept towards the non-magnetic roller part. So the particles which are not magnetic, they will not be attracted towards the magnetic roller, and therefore they are carried away by the conveyor belt and they fall into the collector vessel which is kept away from the magnetic roller, that will collect the non-magnetic ingredients. At the same time, the particles which are magnetic, they are magnetic ingredients, these they stick towards the magnetic roller and therefore they fall in the magnetic collector which we have kept near here. So here what will happen, यहाँ से ये जाएगा and then the non-magnetic one will go and fall in the non-magnetic part. जो magnetic रहेगा वो इसको magnet को attach होगा and then it will come and fall on the this collector vessel. So in this way you can separate the two things from the ore. You can separate the impurities and your metal. Next is the froth flotation method. Now the froth flotation method, it is based on two opposite properties, that is hydrophilic and hydrophobic of the particles. Now hydrophilic means the tendency to mix or dissolve in the water And hydrophobic is the tendency to repel or fail to mix in the water. So here the particles of the metals, sulfides, due to their hydrophobic property gets wetted mainly with oil, while due to hydrophilic property, the gangue particles get dissolved with water. Now, by using these properties, certain ores are concentrated by the Froth flotation method. And in this method, the finely grounded ore is put into a big tank containing lot of water. Then certain vegetable oil such as pine or other vegetable oil is added in the water from the formation of the froth. So as water is not soluble in water, so it will be settled on the top. There is a rotator which is there around, which rotates in the center of the flotation tank. The rotator is used as per the requirement that how much froth you want. Then bubbles are formed due to the blown air, as the air is blown from the air supply. So you can see here also the bubbles are formed. And due to the rotation, a foam is formed of from the oil. We know when you mix oil in a rotated manner, so there will be a foam which is formed. So water and air bubbles, all of things are formed together, and due to the rotation, the foam rises to the surface of the water and it floats, and that is the called as the froth separation method. So in this method, along with the froth, the sulfide or the metal which is there that can be separated can be collected from the froth, as it will be dissolved in the, it not dissolved, but it will be layered with the oil. But the other impurities which are there, it gets dissolved in the water because of the property of the hydrophilic. They are hydrophilic in nature, they get dissolved in water, and so they mixes with water. And the other thing which is there, the other layered by the oil which we use and the froth, and they can be removed from the upper part, which can be the concentrate lauder. Now, next method is leaching. Now, this method is used for the extraction of metals like aluminium, gold, silver from their ores. And as we are separating it from their ores, so again, it is a separation method. Now, in this method, the ore which is there, it is soaked in certain solution for a long time. The ore dissolves in that solution due to the reaction. There is a chemical reaction that takes place. The gangue does not react and therefore does not dissolve in that solution. So it can be separated. For example, the concentration of the bauxite, the aluminium ore is done by leaching method. So here what we do is the bauxite is soaked in the solution of, for example, sodium hydroxide, that is NaOH. So as you soak bauxite in the solution of NaOH, so the aluminium which is there, it gets dissolved in the NaOH and the impurities remains undissolved. So we can remove the aluminium from the dissolved part and the impurities are separated. So this process is called as the leaching process.